Podcast at kcaaradio.com.
KCAA.
No matter what it is in life that you want, you gotta go out there and get it. Just don't let it come to a sleeper but a dream. Never give up on your goals, stay focused on you. Focus your view, succeed, cause I'm hoping you do. Keep climbing up the ladder, cause the key to success. Go hard and go home.
What's up, team? This is Robert Porter and Ipiani Lockhart with the I Love San Bernardino County radio show. And that was OG Suicide. He lives up there in the high desert, and I love playing that song. He's a suicide prevention advocate, and wonderful. He does his music and his form of trying to protect others all around the United States, and he tells his story.
You know what, bro? All that time, I thought it was Exhibit, bro. The whole entire time, I thought that was Exhibit, bro.
So I asked him if I could use his music. He's been on the show a couple of times.
Okay.
And he said yes. And the reason being is I love using local music, and it means something to me, but also because like the algorithm on YouTube kept kicking my show off for Route 66.
I hear you.
And I love me some Route 66.
I hear
you know?
I still use it on the reels and stuff like that, and specifically the San Bernardino part.
Yeah. Do you ever get kicked off? They ever catch you on that?
You know what? I have music violations from posts that I've done 10 years ago.
Yeah,
like, and they'll come back
weird.
around and mute it, and then sometimes they'll come back and say, and then they'll put the audio back on it. So.
Right.
I don't know what the standard is for it.
I wish they would
That's a
explain
new thing, the
good.
muting. That's what they do now. They mute you if you have music. So
Copyrighted,
they mute your post. So I've done that, and I found out for a while that there was my listeners would say, "Hey, there's no sound. There's no sound."
It's weird that we always go crazy tangents on this show. We better introduce our guest before we get too far along. Please introduce yourself, sir.
My name is Peter Lechuga. I am a Chicano poet, MC, writer, and teacher and director of Lion Like Creative Education. Awesome. We teach poetry, creative writing to kids in the schools, and at the end of the program, we publish a book of all their writings.
Wow,
really cool.
I love that. That's awesome.
Man.
Hello, San Bernardino, IE. This is Shazette. I am the host of Working in the Margins with the Family Assistance weekly radio show, straight here on KCAA in the beautiful Teamsters Local 1932. I am a homeless advocate, and I've been working in this county for over 45 years.
Awesome.
And she has a show here on KCAA.
Yep,
and
Working in the Margins.
I have seen you share that, and Yanni share that around.
Yes.
So make sure you check into that and go to her Facebook page too.
Facebook, Reddit, TikTok, Instagram,
and then also
Threads,
KCAA on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
And then you can follow. Actually, subscribe to KCAA on YouTube, and you'll get all the shows. Right. Angel Babies, all the different ones. I Love San Bernardino. Right. So
or you can access the shows via the KCAA app that you can find on
Google
Play.
You want to handle that, Eric? Are you ready?
No.
I don't want to take your job there.
Don't forget to download the KCA app on all app platforms on Google. What is the Google one?
Google Play.
On Google Play and on Apple Store, KCA app. Just go ahead and type that, and you can tune in wherever you're at, even if you can't get the FM or AM.
All right. Ooh. Thank you, E-Money. Yeah. Shout out to E-Money.
Yes.
Also,
we
tune
like
into
to
Palm
get him
Trees
in the
Progress,
show.
too.
Get him in the show. Yeah.
There you go.
And thank you for all that wonderful knowledge. I mean, Yanni's always on point.
Ipiani was the catalyst for me inquiring and getting my own show here. And I think we decided we go back about 10 years. Yeah. So he was on my show last week.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesomeness.
Yes.
And thank you for spreading the love everywhere, Yanni.
You do.
Yeah, you really you help uplift our community.
Happiest person I know.
Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
Yep.
I'd like to mention our sponsors, Celebrities Bar and Grill over on 40th Street. Max, Zaire, and Zoe are incredible people.
Yes,
They're
they
always
are. Amazing.
You know, trying to help our community.
Yep.
And trying to help other communities too. And you know, it's just handling their own business, multiple businesses actually. You know, so
Right.
it can be hard. So let's get over there and spend some money.
Please,
right?
please do.
Yeah.
Celebrities Bar and Grill sponsors. They have a fundraiser for our family assistance program, our human trafficking program.
Awesome.
So there's a list of pizzas that you can buy at Celebrities, and all the proceeds from those pizzas go to family assistance human trafficking program called Open Door. So,
Oh, right.
Yes.
When does
yes.
this fundraiser
So
run?
this started, it's going to run indefinitely.
Okay.
And it started about 2 weeks ago now.
Awesome.
Yeah, so Max, and the folks at Celebrities, they walk the talk. They mean what they say when they say that they care about this community and they want to work and do good things in this community.
And Max has been saying that for a long
time.
time. And he's not afraid to tell the mayor and everybody else about it either.
That's good.
That's for sure. I'd also like to mention a Golden Pizza on Golden and Highland and Olive and Waterman. And they also have a store in Colton and a few more. So basically what he's trying to do is provide a decent pizza to our community for a decent price.
I
Right?
Yes.
love decent,
Yeah.
great pizza.
Yeah,
Great pizza.
And it turned out to me like some of the best pizza I can find in the city. you
Yes.
know? Yeah.
And Mark was saying he wanted another pizza
Yeah,
party.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can do that. We can
Well,
work this out. But
we
like,
can work it out.
Yeah. Well, we want to thank Ted and the team over there and all their hard work. And the pizza last show was excellent. And
Yes.
we grubbed it down.
Yes,
and
indeed.
so like now I can eat pizza like twice a week, right? I
Right.
can eat pizza there and then go get a Celebrities pizza there too,
Exactly.
right?
Go.
And
Support
support a
good-
great cause.
So-
Yeah,
Support
and
a
they're
great
different.
cause.
They're different types of pizzas. Like the golden pizzas, they got the $6.95 special for a large pepperoni or cheese, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's not the same as getting a gourmet pizza or all that
The
stuff.
bacon and
Yeah,
cheese
yeah,
at
yeah.
Celebrities.
Yeah.
Carne
So little-
asada
little-
at Celebrities.
Yeah, like Max makes some definitely interesting
But they're different.
recipes and ideas. Yes.
Yeah, but they're different. My office is across the street from Golden on Highland, right across the street, right next door to the diocese. And we probably spend way too much time there. But it's always, for less than $10, you could get lunch.
You can get your kids some food.
Yeah, and it feeds a few of us in the office. So
Like
And
two people,
it
three
fed us
people.
all in here. I mean,
Totally.
there was pizza left
To take
over.
home, yeah.
It's
Did
good
your brother
pizza.
get a pizza?
I think he had got a couple of slices of cheese because he doesn't eat pepperoni pork, so he got a couple slices.
I thought I
of cheese.
gave him a cheese one, but Amy thought she might have like picked it up by accident or something. But just let him know that we didn't
It's
mean
all
to.
right. It's all right.
We
I know
wanted-
he had a couple of slices on
Yeah,
there.
we wanted to make sure that you guys were super happy because it was great.
for
to have your kids on.
$6.95, you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
have a whole
Plus,
brand new
plus,
cheese.
plus tax all day,
Plus tax all
every
day.
day.
Can't
Yeah.
avoid that one.
Yes.
And our standout, our San Bernardino standout of the week.
Yes, our San Bernardino standout of the week is Community Action Partnership of San Bernardino County. Shout out to the leadership, Ms. Nichols, and the entire
Yes.
team and staff and the volunteers. I
Yes.
selected them. They were selected because when you look at literally almost every single food distribution that happens throughout San Bernardino County, in many instances,
Their logos on it.
their
Yes.
logos on the bag, on the boxes.
On the
They're
box.
providing so much food to address the needs of our community, and we just wanted to uplift them. I really appreciate their food distribution list that
Yes.
they put out on their Facebook page, and they
Yes.
always sharing a lot of information. They have a diaper giveaway that they usually do once a month, and
They do.
and show the different locations throughout San Bernardino County, so all of San Bernardino County. So they do amazing work, and we just wanted to say thank you for being a blessing.
Oh, thank you.
to our
I love
community.
community action partnerships. So our little history, back in a different incarnation, different job, I sat on the board of community action partnership, and got to work very closely with Ms. Nichols and her team and everything. That's where I met Terrence and
Terrence Stone, young
and Mama
visionary.
Hill and
Margaret Hill. God bless
and it was they perform miracles. They perform miracles.
And they feed a lot
And
of
they
people.
they have a food distribution list for every day. Every day.
Yeah.
So if you need food, I post that out. I give those resources out on my show and folks, and I post it on my Working in the Margins with Z, hashtag Working in the Margins with Z. I put it on there. But more than that, I respect their hustle.
Oh, they work
because
hard.
they got showers that they have out in the community that they post up to make sure that our unhoused folks have access to showers. They have the HEAP program to help our seniors that live in, fragile housing, or they help them, weatherproof their homes at no cost or low cost. So they're in our communities a lot more than I think that people know.
Beyond the food distribution.
Beyond the food distribution,
Well, that is awesomeness, totally. And
Yay.
I have eaten that food, and I appreciate them giving that food out, and the diapers and like everything that they've been a part of, and
Yes.
and the partnerships with like Young
Yes.
Visionaries and the other groups.
Yes.
That is important.
It
Yes, it
is.
is.
It's
Because
very important.
we need to uplift our local non-for-profits
indeed.
as well, especially when they are as huge,
Right.
and they've
Right.
already been successful. So,
Right.
And even the small ones
Yeah.
that are addressing the unique needs of our community.
yeah,
Yes.
it ends up being a lot more manpower in
Yes,
the end
indeed.
if we work together.
With many
Yes.
hands make light work.
Exactly. Because there's population out there for every nonprofit they can specialize in something. So
Yes.
mental health, substance abuse,
Art.
post PTSD, veterans. There's a population. Homeless. We have family assistance. We have youth shelters for runaway youth. So I always tell folks, when you see those things on Facebook, this kid is missing or something is missing, tag it to Family Assistance Program so that we can check and see if this kid has showed up in shelter. Because we have homeless youth shelters here in San Bernardino County, some of the only ones in San Bernardino County.
And I have to point out, your nails are looking beautiful and festive
yeah.
as
Well,
well.
thank you. I am in my alphabet stage.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have seen Wicked yet, but you should. And I am in my alphabet stage. I am feeling
Well,
green.
they are beautiful.
Well, thank you. This is about as festive as I got with my nails, because we were just been working and making Christmas for people
Yeah.
and kids. We adopted the Motel 8, Super 8 down on Hospitality, and it was amazing. We had Santa Tony from SBVC.
Santa Tony.
He's the coolest cat Santa you ever want to know, and we took care of a bunch of kids and a bunch of families, and we made Christmas.
Beautiful.
So I'd like to say that is brought to you by Motivational Realizations. The
Energy of positive thought.
Ow! Yeah!
Wow.
And you can check that out on motivationalrealizations.com.
Hey now.
Awesome.
Or just follow Ipiana Locker.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, follow me. I need
Google
more
it.
followers and subscribers. So
Yes, you
please.
do. We're gonna build that up. Yes.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah.
I think Ipiani's like me. It's not too many Ipianis because there's not too
Yeah,
many
our names are
Shazettes.
so unique.
Our names are, yes.
And I never, and I'm happy you're here. Does your name have a meaning?
Yes, it meant that my mother smoked drugs. No.
Join the crew.
Yeah.
Join the crew.
No, it really does. It was the name of a character in a dirty French porn novel she was reading when she was 17. Her name was Shazette. It's
I like
French.
the way she thinks.
Yeah, but my parents were straight up 1960 hippies. Hippies.
Awesome. That's what's up.
And then they had a hippie child.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, my mama, has her weed story, and like I guess like my dad made her smoke some weed, and then she went to Dairy Queen and ordered everything on the menu.
Oh man, let me get the whole left side of the menu.
Yeah,
please.
but for me, I didn't know that Dairy Queen only had a few things on there. But like when I was a kid, I always thought, dang, everything on the menu.
Yeah, for real, for
So
real.
that was my reason not to smoke weed. But then later on, I'm like, wow, that's the main reason to it. So you can go to Dairy Queen, all right? Anyway.
I
So-
plead the fifth.
Yeah, too much fun. And
But a lot of us come from hippie parents. From
Yes,
the
we do.
60s.
Yeah.
My mom was from New York, so she was that whole Woodstock era. My dad was from Louisiana,
There you go.
and they met in California, and that was, voila.
Like my folks were the complete opposite, the polar opposite. Raised in church. My mother's father was a pastor, so they really had a really strong, even cannabis is drugs. Really know the drugs kind of thing. And then raised in the Dare era as well. That was probably a complete failure now.
Yeah.
Dare wants to do it.
I had so many bear stickers on
I
my book. Man. I was the
know.
king of Dare, and all it did was entice me.
I was that kid. I was like the hall monitor. So when Dare, I was like, oh, I got responsibilities. Boy, did I not know what it was doing to our community.
Officer Daryl Green. That was our Dare officer.
There you go. That's what's up.
Crazy we should remember.
No, that's beautiful.
that's
I do have a small history tidbit if you guys are down. Do we have time?
Yeah, so by all means.
All right.
It's your show, brother.
All right. Serrano Road. So I'm reading from Guideposts to History. So this is like an old book that was given to me by Elizabeth Richards, and origins and place and street names in San Bernardino County. One of them is Serrano Road. And this is some history that I kind of want to get out more out there. Serrano is simply a Spanish word meaning mountaineer. It was first used by the Spanish in California to distinguish those Native Americans living in the highlands or mountains not otherwise identified. The appellation came to refer to the tribe whose territory extended from the Cajon Pass to 29 Palms, according to Dr. Gerald A. Smith. Finally, when a serious linguistic studies were made, the term Serrano was extended to include 4 tribes with similar languages. So, they all individually now have their own names, and they call themselves the Yahaviatam or from the Marinyam. But this is just an older book, so it has some of the older stuff. But let's jump into the history here. In 1866, 3 cowboys were killed by Native Americans at Las Flores Ranch in Summit Valley of the San Bernardino Mountains. Buildings were also burned and looted at what is now Lake Arrowhead. As a result, the male white population of San Bernardino Valley formed militia units to eliminate the Indians from the mountains. It is most likely that the raiders were Paiutes or Chemehuevi and not Serrano. But the white men made no distinction in a 32-day campaign, killed most of the Indians in the mountain areas, or drove them from their ancient homeland. The reservation of San Manuel was named for the leader of the few surviving Serranos settled there by force after the campaign. His name was Santos Manuel, and he is pictured at right with his Jesusa Manuel, his daughter, and Lola Crespin. And the San Manuel Reservation became officially established by presidential order in 1876.
Wow.
I think it's we're in a time in this nation, sadly, where many do not want to recognize the history of this nation, right? And to me, we're not saying we have to recognize these things for the atrocities that happen, right? But also in hopes of making cultures and communities whole, building up and supporting and growing up for these atrocities, right? Because everyone that's upon this land brings something to this experience, does something in our community, does something for humanity, and we're all blessed to be alive. So we should never be ashamed of our history, and we must know our history so we don't repeat our history. You know?
Yes.
I agree, and that is a very sad part of San Bernardino history, that there needs to be more of a reckoning, and I know that San Manuel is doing a great job of getting that modern history out that needs to be reckoned, right?
Totally.
So often they tell the story of what happened at their events now, and I like that because I'm not proud of that part of San Bernardino's history, but it still needs to be told.
None of us should be, and yes, it definitely needs to be told, and it's truth. And if you can't handle it, you have to grow stronger as an individual, and because that's the reality of our world.
We don't want to
not just
repeat
this
that
nation.
kind of
No,
stuff.
we don't.
No.
Exactly. We don't want to see genocides happen anywhere on this planet.
And every time you think, oh, I own this land, like, and you're a modern, like, was that, who was it stolen
Yeah.
from and that
Right.
wasn't really that long ago,
So when
right?
you really think
Right.
about it.
Right. So,
Yeah.
like, by taking something at a barrel of a gun, like you established a presence in an area, but
Yeah.
like it was originally owned by
Yes,
somebody else,
totally.
right? Right.
And it, to me, it's almost like a farce of us thinking that we own things. When you look at
Yes,
the
so
history of the
true.
We
planet,
were
so
not
many,
here first.
so many
Pilgrims
continents.
were not here
Yeah.
first.
Of course, so
There
many.
were nations upon nations here before nations were so-called developed.
Yeah, and called many different names throughout the
Many
course of
different names.
history. The land always will change names.
We're
I
so
do-
vibrant, our history.
I
yes.
do appreciate that San Manuel and the other tribal communities have, I feel like they've stepped up their game basically and to be in the communities, and they're making us recognize it. And sometimes we need that.
Yes.
We need, to see powwows and to see that, that those are welcome in our community. And,
Yes, indeed.
the other cultural celebrations.
We're
you know.
lucky. I mean, to
We
me,
are lucky.
yeah, to have them here, I think it's
Totally.
incredible. Like
Exactly.
a lot of cities don't have a reservation right there that they can learn from. Yeah,
No, and we have many
and one that
reservations.
really is a steward of the community and takes care of us. Right.
Right.
Definitely,
And we have a
definitely.
sitting member on our assembly.
Yes, indeed. Assemblymember Ramos.
Our Assemblymember Ramos.
James Ramos for president. Yes, I told him that today. You can
There you
ask
go.
him.
That's what's
You
up.
can ask
That's
Mr.
what's up.
Ramos.
We've honored Mr. Assemblymember Ramos with family assistance for a few years now for many different things.
Awesome.
He has contributed to this community, but especially to working with youth and
Definitely.
Tay-age youth.
and even meet with this old archaeologist.
Yes, indeed. Awesome.
Yeah, he's I've never got a no from him to at least listen.
Yeah,
So,
and he's a good listener. So the next segue into
Definitely, and that
the
kind of
poetry,
goes
or-
into we'll close out the show with poetry
Okay.
and Peter's interview. We want to touch base with Suzette because she's kind of shared a lot of things already, but I wanted people to kind of know your backstory, right? Because many don't know, or many do know, that Suzette also worked for Senator Connie Leva,
Right.
and that's how we initially met.
Right.
So I wanted to know how did you connect with Senator Leva? I imagine it was through the unions. I would
yes,
guess.
it was. She was my union president. I worked. I was in the admin, and I was her EA, and she was the president. She was the first female president, and I worked for her. And then when the need arose for her to run for state senate, she let me hang out and go with her.
Hey now.
So I got to go into politics and learn about that world. Politics, side note, politics is local. Working in the district was where we did the most important work, was working here in the district, not in the halls of Sacramento. The things that we did in the district to help our communities here was the life-changing work. So I got to do that. And while I was doing that, I was put in a lot of different rooms with homeless providers, nonprofits, and I just kind of had the bug. I was like, these folks, they help people. That's all they want to do is help people. And I said, well, I want to help people, and I think I want to help people on a larger scale.
Awesome.
So, dear friend, mentor at that time was Reggie Webb, Dr. Reggie Webb. And I talked to him. I says, I think I want to start my own nonprofit. I think I want to do homeless work. I want to do homeless advocacy work. I'm handing out bananas.
That's the Lord's work for sure, right?
Yeah,
there.
and I was like, it's not going to be easy. I have this really, really good job with these really, really good benefits, but now I'm working like 80 hours a week because now I'm doing this work. And it didn't even really seem like it. It was just, I just kind of like, moved toward that. Started food pantries, food distributions through Community Action Partnership. Started taking bananas, waters, and bras to Upland Memorial Park for the homeless women there because that was their chief complaint, was that they couldn't get good bras from the shelter folks. Or
I also hear that with socks.
yeah, and yes. So I just started that way. There were some other advocates working over there called Team Heart Ministries, and they said, join us, and I joined them, and I kind of legitimized us, got our nonprofit, and we developed, we bore Team Heart Ministries, homeless advocates, and then we moved into shared housing when we got a contract with the city of Upland to house some of their frequent flyers into shared living. And so the rest is just kind of history. I've just been moving through the county, working with different populations, reentry,
Definitely.
youth, so, but I've been out here. Don't let this move look fool
The
you,
baby face, I like the baby face.
because I've been out here for a minute, y'all. I dyed it last night for the show, but
So you're putting on a show for us right now, but let me tell you, you are doing some hard work right there. That's
It's
emotional
hard.
stuff. Like,
It is.
doesn't that weigh heavily on you?
yes, it does.
So you do.
But
so
it's supposed to.
What do you do for you to get
Hockey.
past that stress?
Hockey.
Hockey.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
noticed that you love
I
I
am-
love hockey. Like right there.
I am a hockey head for the last 17 years. However long the Ontario Reign have been in Ontario, I have been a hockey head. I love the sport. I love everything about it. It's an energy like no other. It's graceful. But then a fight will break out, and tooth will go flying, and.
But gracefully, though.
But but you have 6 foot, 6 foot guys on ice skates that are 2 or 3 inches, and I don't even wear heels anymore because I'm just like no. But they're out there and they are graceful, and then they have this little thing that they're chasing,
puck.
about that size, and you're like you can't even see it most of the time, and it's just challenging and it's fast and it's a beautiful, beautiful sport.
And don't you?
My grandfather was a goalie.
Yes,
He made it
my
to double
favorite
A.
position.
He
There you
was in
go.
Canada and played in the double A. Like he actually traveled around
That's
and
right.
did that back in the day.
Awesome.
The coolest part of the story is he lost his upper teeth in one hit, like because they didn't wear helmets back
No, I
then,
hear
or
you.
masks or
No.
nothing,
Wow.
right?
I hear you.
No.
And then they shot him up with some morphine or something,
Yeah.
and they put him back in there, and then he caught the other one, and he lost his. So his dentures fit incredible,
Oh,
Yes.
right? Because he had them since he was a little kid.
there you
know,
go.
like, yeah.
He
Grown
grew
into
into him.
Yeah.
Yes.
well, definitely, Zizette, before we transfer over into our poetry aspect of the show, how can people get in contact with you and your organization?
Okay, so first, I want to run down what we have, what you need. We have a Stop the Hate. It's an anti-violence program. We have a domestic violence shelter collaborative of 7 shelters here in San Bernardino. If you are domestic violence in need or fleeing domestic violence. And what I'm going to do is give you my phone number, my cell phone number, 909-908-8053. My agency pays for it, so I get calls on there for business all the time. We have lots of different hotlines, but the best way is to call me, tell me what you need, and I will connect you with that resource. We have human trafficking. We have youth drop-in centers downtown, not too far from here. We have empowerment programs. We have classes. If you need classes because you got caught up in the justice system and you need classes to help get unacquainted with the justice system, we have that. All of it is local. We have a program called Hire, and it's for employment services for formerly incarcerated, current probation, and current parole people. It's a $5 million contract to put formerly incarcerated people to work.
Awesome. I'm going to definitely connect with you about the Hire program.
Okay, so that's what we do. And again, we have youth shelters, youth runaway shelters. And otherwise, we're just out here trying to take over the world.
One day at a
And you
time.
can catch your shows on Thursday.
Yes, and the show is called Working in the Margins. It's here out of KCAA. It's on Thursdays at 2:00. And then that podcast drops whenever Eric gets it up there. But yes, and yeah, it's been great. And I bring on folks from the community that have these services in the community, and I bring them to you in smaller pieces so you can actually see who's doing domestic violence services, who's doing substance abuse, and who's providing. I've had Kaiser on about mental health and seasonal affect disorder.
Definitely,
So
definitely.
lots of resources, and that's the whole point of the show, is for me to bring resources out into the community and, call her
And
lights.
don't mess with her, because she'll come up to you on hockey skates and knock your teeth out.
Yes, yes,
That makes, yes, great job, great job.
yes.
Definitely.
I carry a
you for
hockey
that.
puck.
Work. That is awesome.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
I
Yeah.
carry a
Alright.
hockey puck in my purse. That's my self-defense.
Oh,
Because if
yeah.
you,
All right.
They're
hit
hard.
somebody right, you can knock.
You
all
take the
of
I
teeth
bet,
out. We
yeah.
heard from Robert's grandfather.
Yeah, exactly.
When my dad went to Canada, he got us a hockey puck
Yeah.
each, and I actually froze it so I could skate it on the ground. It
Okay.
really does
Amazing.
work.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yes.
Well, definitely. We're about to move over into our talent portion of the
Yes,
show, and we
sir.
have
I'm ready.
Peter
Let's go.
Lachuga here today.
Do I need to leave now or?
You're a poet too, bro. Why you
stay.
acting like that?
Hey.
But brother Peter, or the handsome herbivore on Instagram.
Yep, that's me.
Wow.
Could you share your?
You fit your name.
yeah. Well,
There you go. There you go.
Mm.
That's what's up. If you could kind of share your first piece, and then we'll dive into a little interview, and then have you share your other pieces.
Absolutely. I am from low riders hitting switches and peacocks strutting on the lawns of old missions. I am from Masa Harina flung at the wall. I am from Tlaloc speaking in thunder and rainfall. I am from sacred shoes divine, blemishes and all. I am from sci-fi novels and Russian lit. I am from West Coast hip-hop and Scribble Jam vids. I am from witch hazel thriving in the hills, ageless. I am from creaking church pews and Bibles with gilded pages. I am from earthquakes and water rations. I am from the fifth sun burning with our passions. I am from an adoptive family whose love is the kindest I've ever known. I am from a pen, a pad, and a poem.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
I'm from there too. I'm from there too.
Awesomeness, awesomeness. You
That
know,
West Coast, he got that.
no, brothers, spectacular. You know, where did your love of poetry come from? Because when we were talking off air, you kind of shared that your mother has poetry pieces that you've written from elementary, and you were
Yeah.
writing in second grade.
Yeah.
Where did that passion come from?
So from as long as I can remember, I've always written. I've always read. When I was in second grade, I was published in like a national children's anthology.
Awesome.
And I was writing my whole life and just doing a lot of spoken word, open mics maybe like 10 years ago, took a bit of a break and really jumped back into it last year. But for as long as I can recall, I've always written. I love the way words sound and just weaving them together.
Definitely,
yeah.
definitely. And I know that you take a lot of pride in your Chicano background. And how have the experiences growing up as a Hispanic American in our country influenced your poetry?
Yeah, so I mean, my culture is like the most important thing to me, and especially in my new book, which is releasing January 11th, Missed
Awesome.
Opportunities. I weave personal stories with Azteca mythology and also Greek mythology because I grew up reading it. I mean, a lot of us did. But yeah, everything just from my grandparents to my family. My background is just so important to me and where I'm from. Yeah.
So I have a kind of serious question. Is that all right?
Yeah, sure.
You mentioned that you were adopted.
Yes.
And then your references to the rain god and stuff from
Yes.
Aztec. Like, where do you find your connection? Is it still through your adoptive family, or did you do a DNA test?
Yeah. So it's from my adoptive family.
Okay.
And I know that my biological mother, she is from Sonora, Mexico.
Okay.
I've never met her or anything, but I just know that that my roots are there. I looked a little into my history, but a lot of it stops. My birth and a lot of that, it's kind of weird and mysterious. It happened in a weird way, the way I was adopted. But
Is there a strong connection because of your adopted family?
it is, yeah. My
Excellent.
parents got me into it.
That's
so.
very interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Great question. Definitely.
I love that.
Oh yeah. I love the rain god. Please, sir.
Yeah.
Definitely. What is the second piece that you would like to share with us? And what was the name of that first piece?
Oh, that first piece is called Myth Conception.
Myth
Yeah.
Conception.
So yeah, that's the first piece.
But it was a story about you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that form is an I am from poem, and that's the first form of poetry that we teach our students.
Yeah,
because
Jane
it
says
really
the same
gets
thing.
them into it. Like they're writing about themselves in creative ways.
Okay.
Kind of give them a template, and then they like, oh, I can do this. I can put this there, and that's.
I am from San Bernardino.
Yeah. But you would, and instead of just writing San Bernardino, you would think of a way to describe San Bernardino. Maybe the smells of it, or the way it looks, or a special moment that happened in San Bernardino.
There you go.
And that way you put it into poetry.
There you go.
I'm from San Fernando, California. That's where I was born, or I was raised, and that's like the home of lowriders. And there's missions. There's a mission there, of course. So that's why I use that.
So
Okay.
I am from the land of the arrowhead.
There you go.
Exactly.
Right.
You got
that's
some
what, that's
pieces.
what I thought.
You
Yeah.
got some
Exactly.
pieces
Yes,
through it. I
look.
see.
Exactly.
Got some
Already.
stuff through
Already,
it,
you
Robert.
got it.
Yeah, I can learn too. You can teach an old
Each
dog
one.
new tricks.
That's it.
and
Each one teach one.
And you're good at learning. He has his master's degree, so
amazing.
don't let him fool you.
Acting all coy.
No.
And,
I learn every day. Like that's the best part of life.
Amen.
Yeah.
You should be.
Yeah,
You
you
should be
learn
lifelong
something
learners.
every day.
It
Absolutely.
feels good to learn
learning.
new stuff.
Yes,
and
indeed.
then when you really get it, that feels really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Peter, what is the name of the second book? Second book. What's the name of the second book after this first one?
Yeah, get writing right now.
You're already working on
By
it.
the end of the show,
Yeah, hopefully.
But the title of the second poetry piece
Okay,
that you
all
can
right.
bless us with.
So I'll preface this one. It does involve a Greek god. Do any of us know who the Dionysus is the god of? Does anyone know?
I want love.
No. He's the god of wine, festivity.
Wine?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I like him now.
Yeah. He
Okay,
is the
let's
god
talk
of
about
wine.
him.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I could see why people would like him. Yeah,
yeah, right. Yeah, he's cool. He's a
Who's
cool
the
guy.
god of the Hennessy?
Oh yeah.
It's the god of water that you could actually drink, right? So alcohol was a way to purify water back in the day, and if you didn't have it, you were taking a big risk just drinking regular water. So a lot of times they would mix wine and things with the water, and it would kill any bad things in there.
Pathogens. Okay.
So wine is so important.
Yep,
and that's
absolutely.
why-
There you
and
go.
plus it gives you a little good buzz.
All right. So yeah, this poem is called Chicano Dionysus. I used to be a Dionysus. When I was younger, I'd watch all mi tios drink, lose control of their bodies, limp limbs swinging like the lives of the parties they were. I wanted to be them. Oldies booming, look how they transform, arms grooving with a beer glass or machismo oozing, all on the dance floor. I used to be a Dionysus. When I got older, I'd watch mi tios drink, lose control of their bodies, limp limbs dangling, a colostomy bag to potty, last drink and an IV drip. I still remember them, tripping off beat to La Chona, sipping endless bottles of Coronas. They leave glass mountain plots in their wake. Years later, we take fountains of shots by their graves. I used to be a Dionysus. Now, I watch mi amigos drink, lose control of their cars, limp limbs lying lifeless in the dark. I'll never forget them, being 86th from every bar, killing 12 packs, then shredding on guitar. You were so excited about your new pedal. Wish I could fight it, keep you away from that pedal. I used to be a Dionysus. From here on out, I simply refuse to watch waning moons blur into beating suns. I found it's truly not worth losing yourself or the ones you love. Maenads metote so vividly, Broken bottles bleed out fragility. I used to be a Dionysus. However, I abdicate my divinity.
So how long? How long have you quit?
So it's been actually a year and a half.
Cool. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
How long has it been for you, Robert? 16?
Yeah, it's going on 16 years.
Incredible.
16 years.
Wow.
I don't know. After 15, it kind of gets mixed up. But, but you know, of course, I'm California sober. I guess it's got to turn.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
No, that's a beautiful
That's
accomplishment
beautiful.
for anyone that can release.
And it helps you get, like, I think writing helps you get through some
Yes.
of those
We
things.
were,
yes,
we were
most
talking about
definitely.
that earlier.
Absolutely.
And
Most definitely.
I just a side note, my friend who disappeared on the streets just came home this last
Wow.
Christmas.
Amazing.
Wonderful.
And he's been home and sober for 30 days.
Amen.
Looks pretty bad. Yeah, it looks like he's been through the ringer. Right. I hope he can stay in.
I hear you. Connect to
Yeah,
the resources.
yeah, But yeah, it's like it's easy for you to get lost out there on the streets because of
is.
addiction and alcohol.
absolutely.
And
It is.
so I would, what I want to tell him is that, like, he used to be a poet and he won like awards as a kid. I was-
Maybe tapping back into
yeah,
that could
maybe it
relight
might
that
help him.
fire.
And you both just reminded me that I need to do that,
Tell
right?
me, we can bring them on if you
Yeah,
would like to.
yeah.
Like, you know,
I needs a lot of healing, but like
Okay.
I think writing can help because it helped me
Yes,
heal.
same
You
here,
know, yeah.
same here.
It's so cathartic, and
Yes.
it's just all the emotions I'm feeling. This is my outlet. This is the way I vent and get everything out.
Right.
It's so powerful, and my hope is
And
that
it's healthy.
exactly.
And it's healthy.
And my hope is that these words can help someone else too,
Right.
that
They
they can
are.
hear and be inspired.
They are.
Amen.
So yeah.
Well said.
We use that. We use writing therapy with our age youth that are coming in off of the streets to our drop-in center.
Beautiful.
Incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
It
do.
helps to get it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can actually write to yourself, just throw that paper away,
Right.
and no one ever
Right.
read it.
That's
Right.
true. Or you can share it
Yeah.
and it could potentially change the world or save a life. You know.
Yeah.
I've done both.
Amen,
Like I
amen.
have had
I've done
poems
both.
that they never got published.
Peter, I know that you have your upcoming book launch happening.
Yes.
Could you share a little information about that?
Of course. So Myth Opportunities, published by Daxon Publishing. Erica Castro, good friend, amazing poet herself. She started this company last year, and it's growing. Like
Awesome.
Oh,
there's,
wonderful.
she's published, I think. Well, this is releasing in a week and a half. There'll be like, I think the 12th book already.
Okay.
And so many books she's published last year. DaxonPublishing.com. That's the website. DAXSON. So yeah.
Is she printing them herself, or is she having a company?
Self-published.
She has a printing company she uses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
But that's an interesting side hustle. I
Yeah.
dig it.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's our main thing.
Yeah, it has a lot of potential if you
Totally.
get the units.
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
like her whole goal and with Daxon is to give marginalized voices,
Oh,
a
I
voice.
love that. I
It's hard
love
to
that.
publish your own book.
Yeah,
man.
it's
It
not.
is.
Yeah, no,
It
it's
is.
beautiful. The work she
Yeah.
does is incredible, and I love it. And I'm glad to
Amazing.
be a part
That
of
is
this
super cool.
publishing company. Yeah.
Definitely. And what is the final piece that you'll be gracing us with?
And
this
also,
evening?
I'd like to have her on the show. That would
Yes.
Oh yeah. I
I was
can
at, I was at, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely make a connection for
Make
us.
it happen,
connection.
You
Captain.
can come back and do
Absolutely.
some more poetry.
Yeah. I didn't even talk about the book launch. January 11th at Café con Libros in Pomona.
Pomona? I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So January 11th, we have like an amazing lineup. We have Judah One, the poet laureate, the first poet laureate of Pomona, California.
Yes, indeed.
Cesar Avalar, the current poet laureate of Pomona. We have Alma Rosa Azul, owner of Barrio Fuerza in San Bernardino.
Awesome.
Amazing poet, and she built such an amazing poetry community here. And then we also have David Romero, who's just the world, like, he's international
Definitely.
famous as a poet. Yeah.
At the reading, what is it called? Palabra?
Palabras at the
Palabras.
Cheech.
Yes,
yeah,
at the Cheech,
yeah,
yeah.
he was there. So he was also there. We have some big hitters as far as like
Definitely.
poetry
Shout out
goes.
to
Oh,
Loving
good.
Words, who was one of the features. James
Yeah.
Coates as well.
James Coates is incredible. Also, a second little mini book launch at Lopez Urban Farm in Pomona as well.
Okay.
James Coates is also featuring that day.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's if you guys haven't been there, it's an amazing community. So it's a farm. They grow everything there. It's free for the community. They come and get food,
Awesome.
vegetables, and then
Beautiful.
they pay what they need. And
That's
they have
what's up.
all kinds of amazing community events.
That's
That's
amazing.
beautiful.
Make
Yeah.
sure you shoot me those flyers and stuff so I can spread the word
For sure.
on everything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so what is the title of the final piece that you'll be blessing us with?
All right. So this is a San Bernardino, podcast right
Hey,
here.
man.
So
Yes.
this poem is about me driving home from San Bernardino back when I was like 19. My first job, I worked at Inland Center.
Okay.
Yeah. The Dairy Queen orange juice. Talking about Dairy Queen orange. I worked there so many years ago. It doesn't even exist anymore. It's not there in the mall anymore. But this poem is called East and West. It's about my trip back home, and let me read it for you.
Thank you.
All right. I don't have this into memory, so or at least not as well. East and West. A burgeoning blue breathes upon a new sky, driving sunset bound on the 10, under the gold of Nana Watsin's eye. A humble bird martyrs itself into my windshield. Sometimes the universe likes to paintbrush in crimson. Sometimes God's crystal tears can't cleanse the sin of cracked glass and wine-soaked feathers dripping young sacrament into the hungry maw of an impatient engine. Broken wings point east to west in highway crucifixion, a sacrifice of claw and body and song. I held the unholy rose-colored shards in my jaw. I wore shattered skin. I drank the exhaust from the stained air. It billowed in my lungs until my vision became fractured ripples on a flooded lake where the innocent drowned. I couldn't speak. Only a dirge hummed from my chewed lips. I'll never hear the chorus chime from a sparrow's throat, for it is forbidden apocrypha. I'll never feel the freedom flight offers as I am anchored by guilt, shackled in jade, weighed down by the plumes. Each fragmented prism swimming in my mouth, solely refracted black when I cried that night, because I knew I'd have to chase the sunrise.
Wow.
Amazing. Phenomenal, brother. You're phenomenal.
I am witnessing greatness. Thank you for
I
having
like
me.
you put your voice inflection in there, and like you had the little accent in the beginning, and then he changed the accent. Right? He took
Yes.
it away. So that was cool. I liked
Amazing.
that.
That's some
That's how you
good
get people
stuff.
involved in your poetry.
Right?
Yeah. You're such a great storyteller, and your delivery is
Yes.
is masterful.
Impeccable.
And Ipiani Locker, don't you have a poem to share with us today?
Yes, we will, but we want to, and you do
No,
as
no,
well,
no.
Robert.
I am foregoing my poem for the segue to
Okay.
the next show because
Okay.
we got to
Okay.
make sure and give some love.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay.
Well, how can our audience support your works, find you, follow you, and purchase your book and any other things that are connected to all that you do in our community?
For sure. So you can follow me at Handsome Herbivore on IG. That is my main platform I
Spell
use.
herbivore for us.
Yeah, for sure. So Handsome, and then Herbivore, HERBIVORE. I got a few events lined up, as I mentioned earlier. Also with Lion Like Mind State, we're doing a poetry slam January 8th.
Awesome.
So all you poets, any poets listening, please come on down. It's at the Fairplex in Pomona. Winner gets $100 and then enter into the next round. And the grand prize there would be $1,000.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
And be part of the slam team. So yeah, bring your best work. I'll probably be a judge, and I'm a pretty tough judge. So
right.
Buy a few books, you might get a
Right.
little
yeah,
grace.
maybe might grease the wheels a little.
He says you better come
I'm
correct.
fair.
No,
I'm fair.
no, buy a book anyway.
Yeah, you
Yes.
should buy a book
He
regardless.
said you
generous.
better come correct.
Exactly.
That's what he said.
And then in January, we're going to start open submissions. Myself, Cesar Avilar, the current Pomona Poet Laureate, and Lopez Urban Farm, we're starting a poetry anthology, multilingual, from anyone in the world you can submit.
Awesome.
We're going to start it quarterly. It's going to be incredible. I got some more events in Riverside in February, some stuff in LA happening in March. So just
You're
follow
busy.
me. Yeah, I think we all are.
Yeah,
But yeah, at Handsome Herbivore, you can follow me for all the details there. Thank you guys so much. It's
No
been an
problem,
honor.
brother.
Yeah,
Thank you.
been an honor.
Thank you. Definitely. How much time do we have left, E-Money? 6 minutes. It is enough time for you to do your thing, Robert.
Well, I thought you had a poem ready.
It's enough time to do your thing. It's enough time for us both to shine, brother.
All right.
Because you brought the book for a reason.
Okay, here we go. Peace. Peace accelerates, war is pomp. Everyone's mother desires life. All who've bared from A to Z. Cease the weaponry, enjoy Big Mac, entice your friends to push for peace. So it's a weird poem. Like I put Peace,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
I end it Peace. So it's
Look at
just
you.
a play with words for my brain.
That's called an
That's good.
acrostic poem.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
I just did that on my own. I don't know. Right? I don't know.
Totally. Because that's one thing I appreciate about you and James. You guys have the academic side of the
Yeah.
poetry,
Right.
and even
The
Tristan
styles.
Douglas as
Yes,
well.
true.
You know, so I write thank you, brother. I write pieces and stuff like that, and then I'll share it with James, and he says, "Oh, this is a acrostic poem, or this is a justification."
It's a haiku.
Yeah, so it's like
That's why we got you here. So
educate us. Well, definitely. I know that we have about 5 minutes left, so I just want to share this piece. This was an unexpected blessing this year. Thank you to the California Poet Laureate as well as the California State Art Council for allowing me to partake in the Our California project, where I was one of the 3 poets to represent San Bernardino County, the biggest county in the country. So
Oh, yeah.
definitely, thank you.
Big
All right,
things,
here we
big
go.
money.
Amen, Lord willing. But we alive today, and that's the blessing, right?
Amen.
There we go. I do love you. I do desire you. I do long for you. I truly do. Yet I cannot fight you for your love. I have to fight with each given day, not only for my humanity and life, for my very existence, fighting to be a man, fighting for my manhood to be recognized and respected, fighting for space, just to dwell within, just to breathe within, just to be, fighting for my voice, not even to be heard, just simply to express myself as myself, just to be me. Fighting systems constructed for my destruction, the authoring of my demise, fighting the rules of law, formed for my falling, fighting for food that nourishes me, not priming me for cancer, fighting for air, pure and crisp, fresh, yet warehouses built around me as they warehouse me, fighting to move freely and unrestricted. Yet I am chained and bound. I fight these shackles. I fight these imposed limitations. I fight these short-sighted views upon my very life, upon my potential, upon my very destiny. I fight. I battle. I crusade, not for bloodlust, but for my bloodline. Not for conquest, for my surrender, not for spoils, for my necessities. I fight, such as my father, such as his father, such as the father of all fathers, and I will continue to fight. For this is what has been destined. This is where I have been placed. And this is the why, and this is the win. Victory. Victorious such as my predecessor, victorious such as my ancestries, victorious such as my lineage and legacy, victorious such as my nature, such as my calling, such as my destiny, until glory calls. Yet again, I cannot fight you for your love. I am heavy burdened. I am restless and weary. I am gravely wounded. I have fought to make it here. I was guided here. An inaudible voice, maybe of my soul or a soul beyond the veil, leading me, beckoning me to crawl and stumble towards this fold, this dimension, this realm between life and death. It whispers through me to call upon the angels. It says that there is healing within their touch, that there is mending within their love, with the abilities to renew and create anew. Delusional I must be. I have lost so much blood. I could see my time coming upon nearing horizons. I wish I could be as free as these tears welling forth from my eyes. Yet I am only a man, my time set within limits. A sun rises and a sun sets. I am here in limbo, resting upon my back, witnessing the opening of the sky. I fear, I muster the last of my consciousness in waning strength, and I pour forth from the spirit of a dying temple, and I scream to the angels. And I'll end there because I know we're getting towards the end of the
Amen.
show. So.
Well,
Can you give us a
man.
segue there, Eric?
Happy Kwanzaa, y'all.
Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year. God bless everyone. Be
Happy
safe.
New
Segue to the next
Year.
show.
And don't forget to tune in to Tribe and Grit, which is next with Ulysses and Tyrone. So shout out Tribe and Grit.
Yeah, driving
Tribe and
great.
And also shout out Palm Trees in Progress as well.
Yeah.
Amazing show. Make sure you
And-
tune
and
in.
your show
Thank
on
you.
Thursdays.
Working in the margins, Thursdays at 2 p.m.
Woo! KCAA all night and all day. Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
Happy
Year
New
from
Year,
Viviani Lockhart and Robert Porter and the team here. And we love San Bernardino. We love you. And we are out of here.